The Etzels were still going well in their bat, but would have their own problems soon enough, as did many of the field. By now, 30% had called it quits already. Rowecon's George and Sharon Parkhuizen were leading Class E by a huge margin of 20 minutes and still pulling away. The Toyota was in fine shape. Walter du Plessis was the Lone Ranger in the Maxi Mag, and small as it is, it was clear to see why they call it that. It just gets the job done. He was nailing some big names on the way in. The du Plessis were throwing around their BB Auto Nissan hardbody with abandon and doing so very effectively. They were up into third in Class D. Herman Silwald's Zarko Magnum gave him trouble from the word go after losing brake pads, and then with something amiss in the car's handling, they abruptly stopped. Poseidon and Locke with some extra baggage in tow steamed by, but then had to turn when they realized that they'd wrong slotted. Still, it was a great drive from the newcomers.
What's something?
I don't know, we just all of a sudden was losing fire. Something electrical is not sure what it is.
And with the competitors streaming by, the Silwalds had to call it a day too. Rowecon's Loader Brain and his co-pilot Rudy Brits were up all the way from 48th and into the top 20. One heck of a drive. While Gosler and Carolyn were enjoying themselves immensely, they were having a trouble-free run at the finish line, except perhaps for this wrong read here. And that gave the Bozel Truggy of Gil Nel and Sandra Labuschagne the chance to close the gap. The Rochers were on the way, it seems, to finishing the Nissan Hluhluwe 400 and beating some really big names in the process. But there were still some mountains to climb. The Castrol Toyota with occupants Brian Martin and Oki Fourie were up into the top 10 in the production car class and second in Class E. Kobus van Tonder Rian Guapa piloted Unifreight Pajero had also shot up the standings. They were 45th in the morning, but now they were 11th in the production car class and 2nd in Category E. While Campbell just kept steaming along. At the last compulsory stop with one more lap to go, it was the Harpers who were grinding down the competition, with Variawa now less than 2 minutes down. The Atlas Copco pit was filled with quiet optimism, but they knew there was still a lion's share of work to be done.
Look, it's hard work, and I've got the guys right on my tail, but we're in the lead at the moment, keeping it smooth. I see Shamir was closing on me now. We didn't want to push it too hard in case we got a puncture, but we're going to push it from now until the end, so we'll see what happens. Other than that, the car's going very well. Ryan's nabbing, he's on the ball, he hasn't made one mistake, and it's going great so far.
And the bat was just chugging along, asking for more. In the Nissan pits, Glenn Hall knew that his crew was hot. Why else this call?
Fire extinguisher over here. Over here.
And they were, but not that way. But listen in here to the effective communication. No words wasted, just the right info.
I stalled the car. We lost about a minute. The car didn't want to start, but just try it.
We're going to have to watch the radio, guys. So we can get Albert, just bring it dry right here.
Grobler was as always jovial and even in the heat of battle, approachable.
Hannes, how's it looking out there?
No, good. It was dusty this morning, going well. And we had to stop to get all the mud out of the radiator. No, I didn't. We had to stop to get the mud out of the radiator. We started running a bit hot, so we lost probably 2 minutes or bit more, but it was worthwhile stopping it because the car was running cooler when we finished there.
Guess that means things were cool. For the Norwegian Tollefsen, it was all about time.
Enjoying it?
Yes, it's getting better.
Good.
Hasn't Hannes left yet?
No, he's 3 minutes ahead of you, 3.5. They had to stop to clean the mud from the radiator.
What about Duncan?
Duncan went off, he's another 6 minutes behind.
So we're not doing too bad then?
Indeed, for Brandon Harkis and Jean Moore in the SP Ford Racing Ranger, there was some smashing to be done. But he was having a smashing drive, too.
No, it's going well. Unfortunately, we had a puncture early on in the morning, which is never good. A whole bunch of guys got past us again. But I've really just been on the hammer all day. And to catch up to second or third place now, a little bit behind Tollefsen. So I've got the third lap to really push. I need to get past him as soon as possible and see if I can put some pressure on Hannes. Obviously, that's what I need to do.
And the muscles were being severely strained in the Ford camp. For Roacon, the Barkhuizens were putting together an amazing race and, in the process, upstaging several of the factory teams and their cars. But it was tough out there.
Yeah, it's quite rough. You know, I thought it's going to be smooth and open, but it's tight and quite rough. Long way, eh? It's 280 k's. It's quite a bit.
But you're going well.
Yeah, no problems. Just someone hitting the side. No problems. Everything is going well.
The Duplessis had a litany of problems. No wipers, an exhaust manifold came loose, and to exacerbate things, a side shaft broke on the second loop, which was what they were repairing so hastily. In the Ford camp, Jack Peckham had to sort out a few problems as well, but they seemed to have things nicely under control.
How's it looking out there?
Yeah, all right. We're playing a bit of catch-up though. We've had a problem, so we're coming from the back now.
What has the problem been?
Yeah, we just had a problem with our slave cylinder on the clutch. So we had to change that after the first lap and wasted a bit of time. We didn't have clutch for half the first lap, so but we're confident we'll catch up now.
Vehicle and asset finance from ABSA. Over